So I'm a nervous wreck. As you may have heard in other videos, I was diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety years ago, long before the pandemic. The pandemic has heightened my anxiety, especially since everyone is just ignoring it now. So the last couple of years, I don't even leave my house. I didn't drive my car in so long that the battery died, and then it was recalled. Anyway, long story short, my car was gone for months, so I literally couldn't drive anywhere. Now I finally got my car back. I've got an appointment today, and I've been dreading this for months. Basically, anytime there's anything that's coming up that I'm worried about, it just hangs over my head like a dark cloud, and I just dread it, and I just kind of spiral. And now it's today. Like, the only good thing about it being today is that at least once it's over with and it's done, and I can stop worrying about it, because I'm the kind of person that, like, if I have an appointment at 4 o'clock, like, that's all I'm going to think about all day, and it's just eating me alive. So anyway, I'm going to try to do some tips and tricks to reduce anxiety and panic, things that I've learned from years of therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and things that I've learned from hours of watching YouTube videos on the subject. So I'm going to try them, and hopefully they help me to calm down today, because my nerves are shot, and maybe they can help you too. Like, the thing is, when you're feeling anxiety, it feels like you're the only one in the world that feels this way. You're clearly not. Like, there are a lot of us. Just for me, like, you won't see me out there because I'm home all the time. And, you know, avoidance is my favorite. You know, I just avoid things that I know are going to trigger my anxiety. But unfortunately, you can't avoid everything forever. Like, there are things that you're going to need to do. Like, now I have to go out and I have to go in public. I'm going to be masked, but it's still, the anxiety is overwhelming. I could barely sleep last night. My heart is pounding. I'm sweating. Couldn't get off the toilet. My IBS is off the charts, like, just everything. And shaking. At least I didn't break out in hives. In the past, sometimes I break out in hives. My eye was twitching earlier. I think it stopped now. With a bit of a headache. But anyways, okay, so what happens when you're experiencing anxiety? There are a few things. Well, your thoughts are racing, so you have these thoughts and you catastrophize and you think the worst and you just worry. I heard before that depression is like worrying about the past. You know, you're caught up in feelings of loss and regret and heartbreak. And anxiety is worrying about the future. You're dreading, you know, the unknown and uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen, and you just worry. So what we need to do to cure both of those is just to be in the present moment. But yeah, how do you do that? Because you're always, like, either you're just worrying. Like, I just worry all the time about everything. Now, our primitive survival instincts from our amygdala, that fight or flight mechanism, that was actually designed to keep you alive. Because, you know, in the past, there might have been a tiger that was going to jump out and kill you. So you had to be on the alert. But, you know, when you're safe in your house, there's no tiger that's going to jump out. And you know what? Like, I probably wouldn't even be that afraid of a tiger. I'm more afraid of people. Here's a little stuffed tiger, and it's cute. And actually, I actually rested my head on a tiger once at a petting zoo. It was so bizarre. I'll show you. And Michelle and I at the zoo, we were like 2 feet away from a tiger that was growling at us. And I thought it was so cool. Oh, let's get a picture. So yeah, I'm not as afraid of tigers as I am of human beings. But anyway, like, right now I'm home and I'm safe. So I should be able to tell myself, you know, you're okay, you're safe. But the thing is, your thoughts cause these feelings of anxiety, and then it translates to physical symptoms. And when you feel those symptoms, then you feel even more anxiety. So it's like this spiral. But what can you do? Because when you're feeling anxiety, you can't just, like, turn it off. You can't, just calm, just stop it, snap out of it. No, that's counterproductive, because it's not going to work. And, you know, of course, there are things you can do to escape. I mean, some people take drugs, or they drink, or they find other ways to escape. I'm sober for this, but I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs or anything. So you can't really stop the thoughts, but what we can do is, because the thoughts cause the feelings, which cause the physical sensation, so the pounding heart and the sweating and the, you know, shallow breathing, and what you can do is try to control the physical, and then that will help the feelings to even out, and that will calm down the thoughts. So it's kind of like going backwards. So there are a few things that you can do physically to ground yourself, to be in the present moment. I know it's hard, but things like, of course, they always talk about breathing and slowing down your breathing. Breathing, luckily, is something we can do without thinking about it. It keeps us alive. But if you're conscious of it and you try to control it and just breathe very slowly, that will help. Because what happens is when you're feeling that sense of alarm and anxiety, that's your sympathetic nervous system. And I mean, the fact that it's called a nervous system seems like being nervous is just your natural state, because it's not called a calm system, it's called a nervous system. But anyway, the sympathetic nervous system is what activates you and keeps you keyed up, so that you can deal with whatever the threat might be. If there's a life-threatening danger, you've got to be alert and you've got to be ready to fight or flight. You're going to defend yourself, or you're going to run away or freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze, I guess. But the opposite of the sympathetic nervous system is the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest and digest. That's when, okay, there is no immediate danger. We can just relax. Like right now, okay, I'm in my house. I'm safe. I'm okay. So you can say these things to yourself to try to calm down, but also trying to be present. Okay, so one of the things I heard is you can just use your sensory input just to ground you in the here and now. Okay, so find 3 things that you can see. Okay, so right now I see my camera and the ring light. I see this tiger. I see my hand. 3 things that you can hear. It's very quiet right now, but I can sort of hear the hum of the hydro. I can hear my own breathing. Oh, here's something I can hear that's calming. I like this singing bowl. So yeah, 3 things you can see, 3 things you can hear, and then 3 things you can touch. Okay, so something smooth and cold, something rough, something soft, and yeah, so that tries to bring you into the now, into this moment, because in this moment you're okay. Like, instead of worrying about what's going to happen 10 minutes from now or 4 hours from now, or you're just now, because right now is okay. I'm safe. If you're religious, something that helped me when I was in labor, I have this cross earring. There were 2 of them, but I lost one. But I had these on when I was in labor, and I remember the pain was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. But I just kept saying, I'm okay, Jesus is with me. I'm okay, Jesus is with me. And it got me through it. Like, I remember when I first went to the hospital, and she said, don't come back until you're 5 centimeters dilated or something. I'm like, well, how will I know when that is? And she said, well, right now, your contractions, you have a pain, and then you have a break. She said, when you get to pain that's unrelenting and there's no break, that's when like, come back to the hospital. So I was at my sister's place, and I just had a bubble bath and trying to calm down, and the contractions were really scary, but each time, yeah, it hurts, but then you have a bit of a reprieve. But then it got to the point where it was so bad, I'm like, oh my God, and it wasn't ending. I'm like, okay, I gotta get to the hospital. I don't know how I got through that. Like, when I look back at some of the things I did, I lived through some scary things. Like, I'm the biggest wimp. Like, I used to faint at needles and at the dentist. I don't know how I gave birth. I had the epidural, that helped. But yeah, like, I got through these things in the past, and I used to do things like, I love roller coasters. I used to want to go skydiving. I never did that. I wouldn't want to now, but I mean, I did all these things. I climbed a mountain in a dress. I was wearing a dress. The mountain was not. just to clarify. But yeah, I had adventures, I did things, and I even used to get up on stage and sing. How on earth, now I did have stage fright pretty bad, and I think actually with anything that ever scared me, I used to say speeches. Like people say the greatest fear is public speaking, like people fear it more than death. Well, I used to give speeches in front of a whole school. I even won for the best speech before. Like, I don't know how I did these things, but I know the before is always the scariest part. That stage fright is terrifying. You know, your stomach's churning, it's tied in knots, you feel like you're gonna puke and you can't get off the toilet and you're just, but then once you get out there, it's like, once I get out there on stage, whether I'm, you know, singing, whatever, it's like, then I feel home. Like, that's my safe place. When I can express myself, like, then I feel okay. Just like I used to go dancing at nightclubs, and I don't know how. I used to go to goth clubs. I even went in lingerie to one of them. But, and I could be the first person on the dance floor. It's like, how though? But yeah, always before I would go somewhere, I'd be so scared. And then you get there and it's like, it's okay. So I've got to remind myself that I'm so scared of these things, but it's going to be okay. And even if it's not, even if it really sucks and it's really uncomfortable and it's awful, it's still going to end. Like, this too shall pass. So you've got to keep that in mind too. But okay, so here are some things that you can do to calm yourself down. So taking deep breaths, of course, because shallow breathing, it is going to make you feel worse. So a deep breath. So try to count in, like breathe in for 7 and then out for 7. I saw a video on this. One thing you can do also that's tactile, that's like a physical thing to kind of ground you and bring you into the present, is to trace the lines of your hand. And as you trace your finger up, you breathe in, and then when you go down your finger, you breathe out. So let's try that and trace our hands and just see if that can calm us down. So it helped a little bit. I mean, yeah, like this is the scariest because I've got to go for my appointment in a few hours and I'm like freaking out, but I'm trying to calm myself down. So I'm going to try all these things and maybe they'll help and maybe they'll help you. Another thing I've heard of is tapping. So just tapping on your skin, because again, it helps to ground you. So we're going to count to 7 and just gently tapping on various points on your body. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the bridge of your nose, under your eye, above your lip, below, and in your chest, side, and the side of your hand. I've even heard of just doing it on your hand. Like some of these things you can't, if you're out somewhere, like you don't want to be in the middle of the room like, hey, I'm normal. But you can do something like under your desk or whatever. And breathing you can do anywhere. Breathing, just slowing your breathing down. Aromatherapy can help. Like I have this calming spray that I got years ago, and then I've been ordering it online, Unwind Calming Mist. Also, I've got a necklace that has a little pad in it that you can soak in essential oil. I don't know if this is showing up, but so then you breathe that. You can have a lotion on your hands, like if you have a scent that you really like that's calming, like coconut or cocoa or almond, whatever, and have the lotion on your hands, and then just breathing that in. So what else was I going to say? I have this ring, this reflexology ring. It's like a spring, and you just kind of run that up and down your fingers to try to relax you. It's like a little hand massage. All these things that are tactile, that are physical, like that's something that concrete that you can do to try to bring yourself into the present and try to calm down your body. Because if you calm down your body, that's going to help calm down your feelings and your mind. Because when you're really anxious, your mind can be racing, and you just like everything feels catastrophic. And I know I've had panic attacks that are so bad, and it's like you feel like you're going to faint, you feel like you're going to die, and you don't. I know somebody in the past that he was having a severe panic attack, and he thought he was having a heart attack, and he went to the hospital. And it turns out it was just a panic attack. So obviously, if you think there is something medically wrong, like if you're in pain, you're having chest pain and your arm goes numb, like if it's something serious, like yeah, you might want to get that checked out. But if it's anxiety, try some of these tricks and see if they help, because your anxiety can start to lessen, because anxiety can do a lot. Like I've had numbness in my arm before, and that anxiety caused, and I've had chest pain and headaches and a lot of things. But if you're able to calm yourself down a little bit, then obviously it's just panic. Pacing, I find, like I pace back and forth when I'm worried. Just moving at all can help. Even just moving your arms. Like I know something that ducks do is they shake it off. They just ruffle their feathers, and they just shake it off. That when you're feeling anxiety, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm shaking, fine. I'm just really good, like just lean into it, instead of trying to stop it, just, okay, fine. I'm just gonna shake. I'm terrified. I'm just gonna shake it off, and you start to feel better. You know those windsock guys that you see at car dealerships and big sales, and they're just kind of like that. Like sometimes I feel like that guy. Like I'm just flailing, I'm freaking out. Well, do it. Like just flail. And that guy's smiling. He looks happy. It's like just flail. Just get it out of your system. And just moving at all is going to help. I do yoga as well. And of course, yoga does help while I'm doing it. So yeah, if there's any kind of exercise that you can do that's calming, but yeah, moving at all will help, because like you're in your head, you want to get in your body and you want to calm your body down. So I mean, all these things that I'm doing, it is helping a little, and also talking about it, getting the feelings out, that helps as well. I don't have my therapist anymore. I did for years, but I've reached MMR, maximum medical recovery, meaning I'm still messed up, but oh well, I'm as good as I'm going to get. So bye-bye. And then the pandemic happened, and it's like, anyways, that's just a whole other thing. But yeah, so I've been in my house for years, and now I'm going to have to go out. I drove the other day, at least I know I can drive, but now, oh my God, Murphy's Law of all things. So it's been pretty nice lately. It's spring weather. Today it's supposed to rain and snow when I have to drive to my terrifying appointment, and I'm already petrified. Like, are you kidding me? I am hoping it's wrong. I'm hoping it doesn't rain and snow. That's the last thing I need. But anyways, I know I can drive. And oh, another thing I did. Okay, so if you have an appointment that you're terrified about, like me, have like a dress rehearsal. Drive there ahead of time, like say the week before. So I was rambling away, and my camera shut itself off, and I didn't even know. So I don't even know how much I missed. But anyways, so another technique that I thought of to keep you grounded in the present moment and try to relax is to like tighten your muscles up and then relax. So like clench your fists, that fight or flight, and release. I remember in the movie Die Hard, Bruce Willis, when he talks about getting off the plane and getting into his hotel and making fists with his toes, like curl up your toes and then relax. So they clench and then release. So hopefully, well, these things help a little bit. Like, I do feel a little bit more relaxed now. Other things that help, hugs. I mean, Michelle's always running to comfort me if she hears me crying, and hugs are very good for you. Now, if you don't have anyone nearby, you can always give yourself a hug. I mean, it sounds silly, but it's still a hug. It counts. It does feel a little bit better. Oh, another tapping technique that I heard, it was like a butterfly tap. So you have your hands like this, and you just slowly tap back and forth. But yeah, there's a bunch of these things, just slowing your breathing, you know, bringing yourself into the here and now, the tapping. Humming is supposed to be good, humming or singing. I know when people are meditating or doing yoga, they often will say, Om. Part of the reason why it's calming is that humming sound. Also, like when you're trying to comfort a baby, the shushing sound, like you could try to comfort yourself. So, I mean, it's worth a try doing these things. Hopefully some of them will help. I mean, I would say my anxiety when I started this was a 9 out of 10, and now it's maybe like a 7, so. Anyways, hopefully the appointment's going to go well. I'll do a short video clip when I get back home. I'll be so relieved that it's over. So yeah, whatever it is that you're going through or something that you're dreading that's coming up, just know that you got this. It's going to be over. You're going to get through it. It might be uncomfortable, but it's okay. Like, don't feel like, you know, the anxiety is not going to kill you. It's uncomfortable, but allow it to happen and it loses its power over you. Like, just say, okay, yeah, I see you, fear. I see you. I'm going to be okay. It's okay to feel fear, and then just lean into it, you know? It's okay to feel fear. You're going to be all right. You're going to get through this. And you're going to feel better. So just keep saying, I'm safe. I'm okay right now in this moment. Not going to worry about what happened yesterday that I'm sad about. Not going to worry about what might happen tomorrow that I'm scared about. In this moment, I'm okay. I'm safe. It's going to be all right. And even when I get to that future moment, at that point, it'll be the present. And then you can deal with it. You can always deal with the present, even if it's something bad. You know, your fight or flight is there to protect you if there is a real threat. If there's no real threat, you assess, you say, you know what? Okay, I'm all right. This is okay. So anyway, it's easier said than done, and I'm still dreading my appointment, but hopefully it goes okay. And anyways, thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. So I just got back from the appointment. It did not go well. It did not go as planned and was very stressful, but at least I'm back home. So even no matter if you're worried about something, at least even if it goes badly, it'll end and you'll be back home. So bye for now.